Hello and welcome to another Zwift racing video. This is the final stage, stage number 8 of Flamme Rouge Racing's Tour Britannia series. And this is the Royal Pump from 8 course, 2 laps of that, so it's 55 kilometers long, 999 meters of climbing, and it has 2 sprint segments and 2 KOM segments. So we've got Yorkshire forward, Yorkshire reverse for the sprints, and Yorkshire forward and Yorkshire reverse for the KOMs. So the first sprint segment is about 2.2 kilometers into this, and I watched some videos last night to kind of get an idea of roughly where it is, but I still couldn't get it quite right on the day. I think I sprinted just a bit too early. It's quite tricky to see, with all the bodies in the way, all the avatars and the name tags. It's quite tricky to see where the sprint segment starts, and it's I think it's like a 400 meter long sprint segment, this one, and so I've kind of used a bit too much energy before I actually get into the segment. And so, yeah, I have to see how I do on this one, but I think I kind of overcooked that a bit. Then after the sprint segment, we've got a few kind of draggy kind of climbs that are not segments, and people are kind of going at a kind of reasonable pace up these. There's a lot of fatigue in the group. There's a lot of people here who've done every stage of this, so we're kind of moving it around about on my threshold pace, which it's quite nice not to be kind of pushing too hard on. But even that was felt like a lot of work because it's been a long series. And then we come to the first climb segment of the day, which is the Yorkshire KOM, and the pace picks up quite a bit here. The effort kind of ramps up quite a lot, and you can see in the map there's a fairly kind of big blob at this point. There's a lot of the different classes are all still together, but this starts to kind of string things out a bit, and we lose a few riders on this. And then whilst I'm being a twit in the chat, I'll kind of start to lose the wheels to the front group, and luckily Andy tells me that I need to push, so I make a push and do catch on with them. And not long after that, we're at the second sprint segment, and it felt like it came out of nowhere. I kind of forgot this was coming, and I wasn't kind of best prepared for it, but I still kind of made an attempt at it, and I did kind of okay. Not my best power, but pretty fatigued at this point, so that was okay. I did consider maybe having another go at it the second time around, but I was like, when we actually got to it the second time, I was completely cooked. So yeah, this was as good as it was going to get. And in a couple of minutes after that, we're on to another climb, and this one is not a point segment, but people still push on this one kind of fair amount. And I remember this from the ITT a couple of days ago. I really enjoyed it in that, but it felt like a lot more work here today, and so I'm just going to push into to stay with the front group. Then a short while later, we're on to Pot Bank, which is at this point in the event in the series was kind of a big ask, was kind of a really tough one to do, and knowing we've got to do this twice was quite something. But I was quite surprised that we didn't lose too many on this. I thought this was going to be a kind of bigger fracturing point of this group, but people kind of really pushed on this, and we kind of mostly stayed together, I think, and kind of bunched up again at the top and kind of kept working together. So yeah, it's very cool. Then we come to the final climb of the first lap, and I made a bit of a mistake here. I'm pushing like completely needlessly, so I thought this was a segment for some reason, and I even like had a kind of hallucination moment. I thought we passed the segment marker, so I'm kind of pushing here, and there's absolutely no need to. There's no point for this segment. I should just be sitting in with a bunch rather than kind of being off the front like I am here. And then as I get over the top, I thought I'll just see if I can kind of get into a super tuck, maybe kind of get a bit of recovery from that, and that doesn't work. And then like for the remainder here, I'm kind of expecting us to like go past the segment banner and for it to finish, and then it just doesn't. It's not until we get to the end of the first lap that I realise that that wasn't a segment. So complete waste of energy and effort there. And then it's kind of rinse and repeat for the second lap, although no one really kind of makes an attempt at the sprint segments, but people still push on the climbs and push on the climb segments. So when we get to like the Yorkshire KOM here for the second time, the first time up this, I think I did it in 2:34, and then this second time here was 2:47, so not quite as hard as the first time, but still pushing a kind of fair amount. And then unfortunately my video stopped recording here. I think I ran out of disk space, so I don't have the end of the race, which is a bit annoying because I think probably did my best finish in a Flamme Rouge racing event here. I do have a few stills, and that's what we will come to use you for, isn't it? Stills. So things continue as they have done, where people are kind of pushing on the climbs, not quite as hard as they were on the first lap, but still pushing kind of quite hard. And that kind of we stay together until we get to Pot Bank. And the front 12 or so break away at this point, and so I'm left like in this position. And I did have it in mind before going into this event. I wanted to try and make top 20 if I could. So I'll make a push to kind of get on with these guys and get up the final climb, and this will guarantee me a top 20 finish. And then when we get to about 1.7k out, I thought maybe I should like try and do the kind of best finish I can and make a kind of punch. Maybe try and go long, but I just didn't have the legs. I tried it, I just didn't have the legs for it. So get back in with them and go for a bunch sprint at about 300 meters out, and I ended up with 16th. So a good finish for me. I think I ended up just about 30 seconds behind the winner, so like kind of the best finish I've had in a Flamme Rouge racing event. And I really enjoyed this series. I hope I've got some kind of similar fitness gains to the ones that I got from doing Tour France. That first event I did was very tough, and I think I got some kind of pretty good fitness gains from that. So I hope to get kind of similar ones from this. And the courses were like, although they were very tough, they were really enjoyable. And the people in the events are also really cool. They are races, but they're also like endurance events as well. And so people kind of, the vibe is really good on it. There's a lot of kind of help from people. And two riders in particular, like Old Andy and Sarah Olim, like really helped me out on the penultimate stage. Probably wouldn't have got through that if it wasn't for them. And in particular, Old Andy's like been really good at like kind of giving me like motivation to kind of carry on when I've kind of felt like crumbling in a heap at the side of the road. Probably wouldn't have got through it without him at points. So I really appreciate that. So yeah, end of Flamme Rouge Racing's Tour Britannia. A really enjoyable series, and I look forward to the next event, which is Tour Watopia. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.